Hello out there in YouTube land.
Hello, everyone.
I don't
It's
know
just
why
our
I'm-
heads, so maybe we can.
What? Oh, adjust it?
Yeah.
We'll have the cameraman adjust it. We'll get the video camera team on that. There we go.
There,
Is
that's
that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and nice to see you all. As you're logging in, we'll say hello. For those of you watching after the fact, this is a live feed on, what is it, September 4th?
Yep.
At 8 p.m. I had to look at the calendar because sometimes I say, it's Thursday, and they're like, no, Alex, it was Friday. And I'm like, well, I guess I just gained a day. Yeah, so hope everybody's doing well out there.
Trying to find our live now.
Oh, Melissa's going on. Melissa is not distracted as usual. Well, she is. She's going to be helping to moderate. I thought today I'd do a couple things. One, I'm going to tell you a story in a little bit. But we were going to give you an update on how things have been going around here. It's been super busy. I mean, not just for me. It's been busy for you, too.
Oh, it's been insane.
It's been really busy for Melissa. So why don't you tell me what you've been up to?
Well, I have to get my class ready. So between the kids doing online learning, getting my class ready.
Melissa's a teacher.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
It's crazy. I teach preschool, for those of you who didn't know, and all of the kids can't share toys, and I have 2 classes. So trying to divide everything I have into 2. And every time you move something, there's something in there that needs to come out. So,
well, it's not so bad because preschool kids usually don't like to share anyway, right?
No, well, each class has to share. I mean, there's Class A and Class B. All the kids in Class A get to share the toys, but not pencils.
You know what book you can't read in your class right now? Robert Munch's We Share Everything.
They can share everything.
Not their pants and their clothes and their hats and. If you've never read it, there's a Robert Munch book who's
I have it. I only
Canadian
have
author.
9 books out on the bookshelf right now for Class A, and one of the books is We Share Everything.
We share. The book says we share everything, and they take their braces out and put it in somebody else's mouth.
Alexander.
Yeah. Anyway,
So gross.
things are different. Oh, hey, thanks. Somebody says thanks for the heart you gave me last week on my comment on your vlog. That's from MP.
Aw, thanks.
Very nice of you. Yeah. So, but. I went to help her move a table downstairs into the basement of the building that her school is in, and she had the classroom ripped totally apart.
That wasn't totally apart. It used to be like the entire floor, every surface was covered, and I can't even. It's still ripped apart, and it's not as bad now. I can see an end, which I never thought there would be. So.
Yeah, but so Melissa has been. Busy, really busy this week getting ready for school to start.
Yeah. And registrations and all that with parents as well.
And while she was busy doing that, I was over at the store rearranging the entire front of the store, buying more stuff than I probably should. And Josh came and built some shelves for me, if you saw them. Boys, it ever looked nice in there today. I did a live feed from the store this morning, and just being in the store feels so clean and organized. There's still a few little areas I want to do, but it almost makes me feel like it's as good as it was when we first opened. Just very put together, and
I haven't even seen it yet. I
everything
haven't
has
even
a
seen the
place.
vlog yet. Oh yes, I did, because Josh dropped the envelope.
Yeah, everything just has a nice home. Somebody wrote me and they said, I can't believe that you sell socks in the store. Folks, those socks sell. And since I'm a business person, I like to sell things that sell. We are primarily an antique and collectible store. However, we do also have some general store type items, which include giftware and food. And that's always been the case since we opened the store. We've always had little novelty toys or gadgets and things like that. It just adds a little extra element.
You sound very defensive about your socks.
I am, because the reason for this, an antique store doesn't have to just be an antique store. A giftware store doesn't have to be just a giftware store, but a lot of times people fall into these buckets where they think they have to be one thing or the other. I like stuff if it's cool, and I don't care when it was made. Like those aluminum DC-3 airplanes that I saw at the store. Those are a modern made item. They're high end, but they're modern, but they're really cool, and we sell them and people love them. So as long as it's cool, it makes a cut, it comes to the store. We sell a pile of those socks. I had a lady buy, I think, 10 pairs today. She only had 2 legs. So she's gonna either have, maybe she's trying to get taller and she's gonna put on 10 pairs of socks to gain 4 inches in height. I'm like, why does that lady walk in with cotton ball feet? Hey, it's a cotton ball foot lady. No, she's just wearing all the socks she bought at our store. Yeah, we try and have some interesting stuff that we sell. Plus, the reason for adding that extra shelf in the store was so that we could add extra products And we really are trying hard to support our local entrepreneurs in our community, whether they make soaps or lotions or honey or coffee or tea. The more the merrier. So if you're in the Edmonton area and you make something cool that belongs in our store, please come and talk to me, because I want to carry your product and I want to support local. If there's anything I've learned from this downtime that we had from the pandemic and from what we do, is that I love selling and supporting local producers. And for them, they haven't been able to do as many farmers markets and things like that. So this is an opportunity for them to be able to sell their products too. I just see Casey Collins 62 says, I love the stuff in your store, but it makes me feel old to see stuff that came out after I grew up in your store. Well, Casey, don't worry about that. That doesn't make you an antique. That makes you a collectible. That's my excuse anyway. But don't worry, there's stuff that I had when I was a kid that's in my own store too. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess that makes me old too, so don't worry about that. So shelves are up. We are gearing up. I'm going to talk a little about, well, that I guess talks about some of the products that we carry at the store. Plus, what season are we going into right now? Fall, and then pretty soon Christmas. So
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
I was thinking about putting together some Curiosity Inc. gift baskets for the holiday season with select items from our store, like the coffee and the tea and
Like a
the
local?
soaps and things, like a Shop Edmonton local gift basket. So I do want to make up some little gift baskets, wrap them in cellophane, I guess, and then put them out there, and people will be able to get some from our store. And everything's going to be made locally, so it'll be an Edmonton local piece.
Well, it'll be around, because I think that
Edmonton and area.
Yeah, and area. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's one that's very close to Edmonton, may as well be in Edmonton, but
Oh, the honey?
yeah.
Well,
and
you,
also,
I don't
and
think you'd
the-
want a honey farm, like a bee farm right in the middle of the city anyway. Oh, what's going on? It's that honey guy. He's got 10,000 hives right in the middle of the city. No, he should be a little bit outside of Edmonton. That's why I said Edmonton and area.
So Jason, for those of you that were asking on my vlog, and I just noticed now, he fell off his skateboard, and I took him for an x-ray, and it looked like it was broken, but a very small fracture. He waited 2 weeks in a sling. I took him back for his follow-up x-ray, and it looks like it was never broken. So he needed to take that sling off. His arm is healing just fine, wasn't broken. So that's good news.
Yeah, so Jason's okay, thankfully.
Yeah, he's great.
Would the Edmonton gift baskets be available online? If you call, we could mail something out. I'm sure we have no challenge with that. A lot of times, the cost of mailing a product can sometimes be a detriment to, like, if it costs $15 or $20 in store, mailing it could cost $15 or $20. For some people, that's a bit of a
I think
downfall.
it would be better taking it out of a basket and putting it in a box. So for if you were going to mail it out.
Well, I think what I'll do is try and have, yeah, because otherwise it'd be really big. But then
Yeah.
you'd lose the presentation.
You know, just write a little sticker that says "ta-da" when they open it up, and
Oh yeah, and for anybody, I ship all over the place. Like,
Yeah.
I mail stuff everywhere. You name it, we send stuff out. And I think I put an auto reply on our email now, because it does take me a little bit to get back to all the messages that come in. So now it says, please give us time to get back to you, because I had somebody write, and then I didn't get back to them by the next day, and then they were all upset. And I was like, I'm not trying to make you upset. It's just hard to keep
and
up.
plus
But
this is also real life.
yeah,
So.
we got a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, yeah, we do ship stuff out. That's the moral of the story. You can always call, and we can chat with you guys about that too. So we are going to try and put together some gift baskets. But Edmonton area entrepreneurs who make stuff, you got to come chat with me, because we don't have jam in the store right now. I need jam. I got to find
But
somebody
it
who
has
makes.
to be a company, not a home.
Yeah, it can't be like your aunt in her kitchen. It has to be somebody
Yeah.
that's actually certified. So if
Just
somebody
to keep everybody safe. I'm sure that your jam is amazing, but we just want to make sure that everybody's fine.
we don't want to accidentally end up with jars of Auntie Bertha's botulism.
Yeah.
Strawberry and botulism. That's not
Wow.
good. Anyway, you have to make sure it's professional and safe. And anyway,
Speaking of professional,
Oh, let me joke about your stomach sickness. No.
hi Zenobia.
Yeah. So, anyway, we're gearing up for the Christmas season, getting the shelves all ready, and we're gonna try and get at least some other products in the store to make it a nice little gift basket set.
I know a lot of people always say hire an admin, but the problem is that all of the questions Alexander has to answer. So we would be literally having somebody just reading through the emails to ask Alexander. So either way, it just still takes up time.
Yeah. If we had somebody that was a manager at our store that knew everything the way that I do, that skill set is. You could find somebody, you could train somebody for sure. If they said,
But there's so
you
much
know,
coming in and out, and
Yeah.
And we can't afford that person.
Yeah, we're not at a spot to hire extra staff at
Not
the
like,
moment.
I mean, not somebody that's like, I mean, Sean is really good. He's an expert in different areas that I have no clue, like cameras and.
Oh, Sean knows cameras and musical instruments
Mm-hmm.
like nobody's business. At any rate, so Christmas season coming up. I'm going to move on now and chat about. What was I going to talk about? Auction. So this leads into that. We're getting the store all cleaned up and tidied up. I have taken about 120 pieces so far to the auction house. I've got another 280 or so to go before I hit that 400 lot mark. Why am I doing an auction? I'm going to answer. I like, this is what politicians do. They ask themselves a question. Do I care about children? Why, yes, I do care about children in society. Do I care about society? Yes, I do care. Nobody asked you, but yes, I do. Why an auction? Well, I'll tell you why an auction. We are saving, basically. We've been doing this building addition one little chunk at a time as I can afford it. So we did the patio, got that paid for, and then we've got the ground excavated for the foundation. Now that was paid for. Now on Tuesday, actually, we're going to be putting in the water and the sewer line, which I'll have to talk to Sean from Hall Drafting. Hall Drafting, your one-stop shopping for. I'm giving him a plug here, but truthfully, Sean's been amazing through this whole process, helping us out with all the permits and dealing with the city and everything. So, Sean, thank you if you end up watching this vlog, or if your stepdad, Nitrous Diecast Dave, is on here, you can thank him for me. We need to mark out where those are going, because you don't want the guys to be digging a hole and they're like, where are we putting this thing? And then they put it in the exact wrong spot. I don't know why they sound like that. I'm a construction guy. I talk like this now.
Marlene, we did give Zenobia Enhance the package.
Oh, yes, we sure did. Yeah. The auction will help us with the cost of the impending foundation, which is going to get poured hopefully at the end of this month. That's right. If all things go ahead, we should be able to pour the foundation by the end of this month. And if that happens, I might be able to get the framework and the roof and stuff on before fall. And once you can have it to a lockable state, like you can lock up, then you can do all your inside work over winter. That would be the ideal situation, that I would have a building more or less up that I can renovate and work on over winter and have that extra space to stretch out in. But to do that, we need to save up some cash. I've got to stop buying cars. The last vehicle, the Land Rover, was more of a trade plus a little bit of cash, so it actually didn't cost us that much. Plus, I put the world's cheapest paint job on it, which turned out half decent, actually. Don't you think?
Yeah,
It's
fine.
seriously, people drive by our street, because it's sitting on our front driveway at our house right now, and they're like, nice car, bud. And I'm like, thanks. And then Abigail was out there drawing sidewalk chalk on the sidewalk, which is where you should draw sidewalk chalk, even though she aims for her brother most of the time. Steven and Jason come in and they're covered in chalk, and Abigail's got the chalk in her hand like a wild little, I don't know, like a wild little animal. What'd you do to your brothers? Nothing. Like, yeah.
All innocent.
She's not so innocent. She pests her big brothers. And they're like, all their arms are all covered in chalk and stuff. Anyway, so Abigail's like, they like this car? And I'm like, yeah, people like these things. And everybody seems to like an old Land Rover. Somebody said, I'd get rid of your Woody wagon and keep that Land Rover. It's neat. I guess I could, the Land Rover is actually going to be roadworthy before the Woody wagon is. Like, I could just drive the Land Rover right now, put plates on it, insurance on it, and go.
I think we need brakes.
What?
We?
No, the Land Rover has brakes.
Does it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Why is it blocked? Oh, the Land Rover. What's in our driveway? What's the
Land
green one?
Rover. I put a block. I put a block behind the tire because it's a manual transmission, and I've been putting it in neutral to try and tune up the carburetor on it. Anyway, everybody likes that Rover. Heather Steves, let's try and answer your question here. Love the videos and I enjoyed the silkscreen kit I bought from you. Keep the great. Oh, hey, great! I'm glad that you got that safe and sound, and thank you.
You got the hiccups?
A little bit.
Again?
Ray's asking about a vehicle that I bought a couple years ago, a Dodge truck. That one I actually just bought. Someone else was interested in it, so I basically was just the person who picked it out of the yard and delivered it to them. Current vehicles that we have right now: Woody wagon, Rover, ambulance, which is the company vehicle, the FJ Cruiser, and Melissa's car.
Did you mention the ambulance?
Yep. See, I've whittled it down. Oh, and there's a Rolls. Yeah, and there's a Rolls Royce.
There's a Rolls.
I don't count the Rolls Royce too much because it's been in the shop for like, I don't know, a year. So it's gonna be, yeah.
This won't be the first time we've had a car in the shop for a long time.
No.
But last time it was in Winnipeg.
Yeah. Which that car is just about done. I mean, it doesn't even feel like a real car. Like the Rolls the Rolls Royce was not very expensive to buy. And when we do the finale video, I'll kind of give you guys a sense, a rundown of what we're into it for expenses. But the way I figure it, that I'll still be into that car for about half of what it's actually worth. So it'll hopefully end up being an okay investment, even with doing all the brakes and the brake lines. But that is a common thing to go on those cars. So it's better that it's done now. Even on one that was a daily driver, you'd probably have to do it anyway.
Buick is sold.
Yeah, Buick is gone. So anyway, I need to liquidate probably a couple more cars, and then we should be okay for funds to get that building up. But short of me selling off a couple more vehicles, I'm going to do the auction to try and raise up some capital. But I'm going to try and take down a bunch of cool stuff. We already took down a bunch of really neat things. I took down, oh boy, I'm going to do a video. I've been doing a video of what's been going to auction and what the process looks like. So I have one more video I think to do, and then I'll post it. And I'll probably have to do like a 2-part series about it, like one taking in the first 100 and whatever things, and then I'll do another one of the other batch, and then probably a follow-up. But for those of you watching, I am going to be selling the remainder of Mary's pottery that we have. We have maybe about 12 pieces of Mary's pottery left. All of it is going through auction at Castner's at the end of this month, which will be the last time that her pieces will be offered as a group together. Everything will have been dispersed to private collections and homes. So this is the last of it. It's all going. These are some pieces that were part of my own personal collection. I'm keeping one piece. I'm keeping a sphere for myself. That's an absolutely perfect black sphere. Other than that, everything else is going. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting auction sale. There's going to be a lot of really cool stuff.
So Norma asked, and for everybody else that's curious, if they see something that they want, what's the best way to buy it from you?
Generally call the store during business hours or email us. Email is curiosityedmonton@gmail.com.
But it's more likely that he'll hear it faster if you call him.
Yeah. And Greta girl who's on here right now, she actually called and chatted with me the other day at the store.
Good. Good.
Yeah, so we chatted. So if you see somebody named Greta girl
I know,
in the comments,
I see her all the time in the comments.
yeah, she phoned. We chatted at the store
Good.
for a little bit.
She's
Sometimes
on here now.
people phone the store and I'm like, Curiosity Inc. Alex speaking. I always say it the same way. And they're like, yeah, is Alex there? I'm like, yeah, that's me, you know? And they're like, what are you doing there? I'm like, well, I work here. Like, this is our place. People are surprised that that I work there.
Yep.
But I do have to do
We
things.
literally have like regular jobs.
I take the garbage out. I have to wash the sinks, which I need to actually take some cleaners and go do that probably when I go.
I agree. I saw that sink.
Yeah, I've got to go clean the sinks and stuff. I'm the guy who, like, if you come to my store, I'm the guy who's cleaning the sinks and sweeping and mopping for the most part. So, yeah, you do it all. When you own your own business, you got to keep busy doing it all. One day, perhaps I'll look back and I'll go, ha ha ha, remember when I used to wash my floors? Ha ha ha. And then my floors will just be dirty. It's not like we will have, hired anybody. It'll just be really poor maintenance. Yes, so things are progressing. Oh, I was going to tell you a little story too. The story I wanted to share starts off kind of sad with the passing of my great aunt Rose, who is a lovely lady, and there's a picture of her somewhere on the internet dressed up. In the 1940s, she dressed like full-on cowgirl with like the chaps and she had the lasso and the whole thing. She loved Western music, and I remember one time I got to be if you didn't know this, I was the award show presenter at the Country Music Awards once. I was the guy dressed up in a suit back when they thought I was svelte enough and they thought I was dapper enough to be on stage doing that. Instead of having sometimes they have like a lady model in a gown handing the awards. It was this guy. I'm the guy. They put me in a suit and I was handing the awards out to all the musicians.
That's when I learned that just because it says live on the TV, it doesn't mean that it's live, because he was doing that award show and I was watching for him on the TV. And I saw him on the stage, and then all of a sudden he walked through the door. I'm like, how?
But I had to keep, it's not so easy as just handing out the awards, because you have to make sure that you give it to the right person. Like, it has a little card, and then there's an award. And you have to make sure that you're not, like, giving it to the wrong person, like, put the wrong name on the wrong card stuff. So, anyway, it was fun. But my Aunt Rose loved country music. She had a million of those Danbury Mint sort of collector plates on the wall of her living room, and she always had cats. And sometimes she would even have like stray people that she would take in and would live in her basement. Random, like, 80-year-old German travelers who were like,
You're thinking of one specific
yeah,
person.
Horst was his name.
He was
And
super nice, though. Didn't we?
he was
have
like an
supper with
80-year-old
him?
German guy who used to backpack still at that age. And I don't know why, I don't want to, put this broadly out there, but it seems like a lot of German folks like camping and backpacking and traveling and exploring and stuff. And this guy was like, the old man kind of khaki shorts with the white socks pulled all the way up to almost meet the bottom of the khaki shorts. So there's only that much skin showing. At that point, just wear pants or just like pull your socks up all the way. Why are you going to put on shorts and then pull your socks up that high that you only got that much like thigh showing? Anyway, not that I want to see more of his 85-year-old German
Sounds
thigh.
like you do.
I don't know. This is getting weird now. Anyway, she was a lovely lady, and she always looked after her neighbors and looked after the people in her life. Sadly, she passed away. She lived to a good age. She was in her 80s. She passed on. I guess my second cousins, my mom's cousins, were doing the estate sale. So I went over there because my Aunt Rose was looking after a tea set for my mom. And Mom, if you're watching this, you know the one. Back in the 60s, a friend of hers gave her this really ornate sort of porcelain tea set with dragons all over it and stuff. It was probably pretty fancy at the time. And because my mom moved around a lot when I was a kid, my great Aunt Rose kept it in her china cabinet. Well, I wanted to make sure that I got it back before the estate sale because that was my mom's, and I wanted to buy it back so I could get it back. Anyway, so I go there first thing in the morning before the sale happens. And I don't know if you've ever been to an estate sale before that's been advertised, estate sale, antiques, collectibles and stuff. Who's out there waiting? Used to be this guy. I used to go to those sales and wait. Not in a long time. I get calls and I go there beforehand.
Yeah.
But at that time, I'm there 35, 40 minutes before the sale. And I'm kind of standing in the backyard chatting with my mom's cousins about, like how are things going, what are you up to and stuff. And this guy who's another local sort of antique dealer, I think he sells at the flea market and stuff. He had the do-rag sort of on his head and kind of looked like a biker kind of guy. He looks over and he sees me and he turns to the crowd. And at this point, there's an entire crowd of people. Like there's a crowd of hungry people wanting to come in and see what's going on. And he goes,
And we're back there.
and we're back there. Were you with me too?
Yeah, I was
Okay,
back.
yeah.
I was there.
Okay. So we're back there chatting and
But his little head peeped
yeah,
over.
his head peeps over the fence and he sees me and he knows who I am and he's like, and he turns to the crowd and he goes, "It's all picked over, guys. Alex got everything." And I'm like, I didn't get everything. I'm like, this is my great aunt's house. And he's like, likely story. Like I was lying. So
Somehow weaseled our way back there.
yeah, he thought that I was giving like some story. Like, I don't know. What would I even pay? It's not like a doorman at a fancy restaurant. Like, here's $20. Let me in to have a look around first. I'm sure there's people that do that. But I don't know. What is the correct, protocol for, going in early at an estate? I don't think there is. I think you wait until the time is what you're supposed to do. But what's fun, so if you were in that crowd, if you're in Edmonton and you were in that crowd that day and some guy called around the fence, Alex didn't buy nothing but his mom's tea set back. And that's why I was there. And I had to go there that day because that's the day that everybody was going to be there.
That's not completely true. I also got like a plastic rolling cart that has those plastic bins for my class.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And so it did get all picked over.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was funny because everybody was all upset that I was in there first. And no, truth be told, I actually don't like going to estate sales or garage sales or yard sales anymore. I don't even stop. I used to stop all the time, but the way I look at it now, and there's still a lot of good things you can get at those sales, and we found plenty of good stuff at garage sales.
Yeah.
But I love, what I do is kind of like what you see on American Pickers or what you see on other TV shows. You go to these places where there's these big collections or there's estates that are being sold and you buy things before they have a big sale. And you try and give them an idea of what their things are worth, pay a fair price, and then they decide whether they're going to go the way of an auction or sell it. I've been to some pretty crazy places even this past year that I haven't even had a chance to film because they were big collections and the people were very private. Did you have a question?
No.
Oh, I thought you nudged me.
It was your hiccup I could smell.
She nudged me.
I fed him jerk chicken, so it's my own fault.
No, I had like a crazy amount of garlic at lunch.
Oh, is that what that is? That is exactly what
I
it
had
smells
Lebanese
like.
food at lunch.
Oh, come on.
If you've never had Lebanese food, you're
Oh.
missing out. I had the shawarma platter
Oh, that is what
with
it smells
extra
like.
garlic paste.
Come on.
You know, I figured if you're
burp
gonna
one more time with that smell.
I can't help it. You know, you don't have to be this close to me. Okay, this is my thinking. I don't normally order garlicky food when I'm at the store. But I thought, okay, we have to wear the COVID mask indoors right now. So I'm thinking, no, it's not. I'm like, I have this protection device. I'm going to make the best of having to wear a mask, and I'm going to order the stinkiest food I can, and they won't be able to smell my breath. I'm like, problem solved. I have a mouth filter. I'm going to start eating really stinky, garlicky food at work.
But then you have to breathe it.
Oh, it doesn't bother me.
Oh.
I like my own brand of garlic. It's good.
Michelle said, I saw a man in Home Depot tonight with a Pickle Rick t-shirt on. I wanted to ask him if he watched you and Josh.
Oh, well, Pickle Rick is from Rick and Morty. So when Josh first referenced Pickle Rick, that was from a TV show called Rick and Morty. We just had our Rick that was a cutout. For whatever reason, Mary had a cutout of a pickle display.
It's called jerk chicken. Not that I fed the jerk chicken.
Uh-huh.
It's a spice.
I fed them jerks chicken. You're not far off, though, if that's what you thought.
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway, so I had my mandatory garlic filter on my face today.
Well, you should go get it. Because, you know.
Gretchen says, when will you sing again? Soon. I'm actually writing my own song right now. I haven't had time to work on any music in the last little while. I don't know, why did my voice go up just then? You know? I really like tacos.
$1 in the jar.
What, every time my voice goes up?
That's what we do for Steven. I think Matthew came up with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I felt like emphasizing that. Like, do I really like tacos or do I really like tacos?
I knew you knew, but
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny. Susie said that she knew she was trying to be funny. Bandana grandma.
Yeah. Donnie says puberty. Well, if that's just kicking in now, that we're in big trouble.
I mean, at least it finally happened.
At least if oh, you're so funny. Thank you all.
Don't cry your garlic breath on me.
Oh, you take my garlic breath. You love my garlic breath. That's right. You enjoy your proximity to all this.
Okay.
Aren't you glad you're my cohort family? I can blow my garlic face at you.
I am.
Anyway, I went to a place in the last couple weeks. One of them, the guy owned his own Sherman tank. That was pretty cool. I'm sure I probably mentioned this before because it was really cool. But I'm like going in a building with it. I'm like, a Sherman tank right there? He's like, yeah, it's a Sherman tank. Is that a mountain howitzer right there? Yeah, it's a mountain howitzer right there. Is that stuff for sale? Maybe. And that's why I was like, I wonder if that would fit on the patio at the store. But probably not a real family-friendly thing to put a giant tank in front of your store. That's like what a Legion Hall would have, or like a small town, they put it on display like Wainwright has a Sherman tank.
Yeah.
Not like an antique store. I would be the most epic antique store if I had a Sherman tank in the backyard.
We would pull it
wouldn't I?
onto the cement pad, and then you would sell it the next day.
No, I couldn't video the tank. The guy was pretty private about his collection, but he had a Lancaster bomber. He had all kinds of cool stuff. I'm telling you, it was really, really neat. But the place I went to today, they had gas pumps and jukeboxes and all sorts of neat things. Melissa and I went to tour. The people whose place I went to in town own one of the only giant antique mansions in town, and I might be going there next week, but I don't think I'll be able to do a video of it because they're private folks, but they've got all kinds of cool stuff, and they're selling their house. So we're like, I think they're asking $6 million or so for the house. So we're like, I don't know, 5.99999 short of buying the house, but it's really cool.
Nancy said, a Canadian friend told me that you can't go between provinces. Oh, they're lying.
You can go between provinces.
I don't know if...
Manitoba had a thing where there were some eastern provinces where they were
Yeah.
making it so you couldn't go there. I don't think that's happening
it's not
anymore.
right now. We can go to the States even if we want right now, but...
A lot of people don't care if somebody's SMG says I wouldn't want to be on camera either. Some people are very private.
Yeah.
If you have a massive collection of really expensive stuff and you don't have like an on-guard security person all the time, or even if you do, you probably don't want the whole world of YouTube land knowing what you've got. So a lot of times I try and keep the locations I go very private. I don't really show the outsides. If it's a farm field, I don't say where it is.
Come down to this address at the front of the door.
So a lot of times people are like, when I did those scrapyard tour videos, well, those were people's farms that had lots of cars on them. They weren't businesses per se. So people are like, you should put the contact information for these scrap yards. Well, it'd be like putting your house address up on YouTube for everybody. A lot of times people don't like that, you know. So
can't tell you,
try and be
Dave.
private.
But you could ask Alexander when you're in the store.
What would he say?
He said, "Is it the mansion?"
Oh yeah, Dave, you know which one it is, but it's a pretty fancy house anyway. But I was at their business today, and man, they had a lot of cool stuff. They owned their own U.S. Air Force Army base, like that during World War II. U.S. Air Force had a base and a hangar here downtown. They own it, like they own their own Army base. Isn't that cool? Anyway. They use it for their business now. It's not an Army base anymore. That'd be weird. It's not the Sherman tank people. They're like, look what we found in the basement. That'd be the ultimate find. You buy an old Army base and there's a Sherman tank in the basement. Hey, look, what's under this hatch? That'll be my next, like, what's in the hatch video instead of what's in the box. I'll open it up. Oh, it's a whole bunch of tanks. And I'll say, thanks for watching at the end instead of bye for now. My mind went off topic there for a minute. Anyway. I have a week of exciting stuff going on. Tomorrow, I might do a video tomorrow because Steven's coming with me, and Fellow's cleaning out his garage, and he's got a bunch of antique showcases and stuff. It's a garage clear out, so we'll maybe do a little video of that. And it's nice that I finally have my son coming with me to help me, because a lot of times we were going to include the kids more in the business this year, but we haven't been able to do that just for their safety's sake. But going to somebody's garage, if he's wearing a mask and being safe in that, is a different story.
As long as it's in the garage and
Yeah,
not a bunch of people in there.
Yeah, no, it's just one very nice gentleman. So it should be fun. Plus, the kid needs new clothes, too. Steven needs new clothes. I need new clothes.
I need new clothes.
Everybody's saying, oh, Alex, you wear the same shirt all the time. That's because I've been spending my money on expensive stuff
But
like
it's not
shelves.
just that. We're not the type of people that go out and buy new clothes all the time if we have perfectly good clothes that we still like, that are...
True. I will buy new clothes when my other ones wear out.
Yeah, but we don't go like, oh, new season.
Yeah.
I mean, we do know people that like that, but I'm not that person.
Yes. Okay. So more videos coming this week. I spray painted a Land Rover. I posted pictures, kind of teaser pictures of that Land Rover on my Instagram and YouTube, and everybody's like, whoa, sweet ride. That thing looks mint. Is it totally restored? And I'm like, ha. And then I posted the video like a couple days after of me spray bombing it, because it was a challenge to see if I could do a $100 paint job on a vehicle. And not that you should. I think I put a disclaimer even in the video, and I said you probably shouldn't do that, because it's not a great thing to do to a vehicle. But when it starts off looking pretty trashy and you don't have the bucks to put a restoration on a vehicle, I don't have it in me to totally restore a vehicle like that right now. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I was like, but I do have $100 and some free time today. And so that happened. Melissa lost me for a day while I was out there sanding and painting and all that. And this time I learned, I moved her car off the driveway, because last time I painted something on the driveway with her car there, she ended up with like blue little speckles on the side.
It was fine. It was like a turquoise. I liked it.
I couldn't polish it out. Usually if you get a little bit of overspray on a car or something, you can like buff it out. I took the power polisher. I did whatever I could not get the paint off her car. So it doesn't look bad. It looks like there's a little bit of like blue metallic flake in it.
I don't know if you can even see it anymore.
I don't think you can see it
gone.
anymore. Hopefully it's gone.
There's weirder things on my car now.
Yeah. Anyway, so now I've got this Land Rover, which I kind of did a trade and some cash and stuff for. But the idea is you have these assets and you move it into other things and you move it all out the door, and then hopefully you've got enough money to put it into something better. And we're investing kind of in our own real estate right now, trying to make it look pretty good. Yeah, you guys see, they're saying that it looks pretty good too. It does. People are literally stopping on the street and going, whoa, nice Land Rover. And I'm like, thanks. I should be like, and you want it? You want it? Yeah, somebody will probably want it. I'm going to make sure that it's running properly first. The carburetor's a little sticky on it from sitting. So it starts just fine and everything, but it's bogging down. So I've ordered a new carb, which should be here in a couple days, and then we'll get it there.
So I see in the comments that a couple of people are discussing about if we ended up pitching Curiosity Inc. channel to a TV program. We've had people approach us before, and I'm not saying that would never happen, but the truth is that through YouTube you have complete creative control. I mean, to an extent. You can't go too crazy because you've got to play by the rules still, but you get to be honest.
We get to do it. The main thing is we get to do this show on our own time, in our way. Now, the only thing that would be nice would be somebody else would be filming, and so I wouldn't have to worry about the filming or editing and stuff.
But you're on their schedule, and
yeah,
their payroll.
a lot of times those shows, they add a lot of fake stuff in, so we don't really want to get into that.
We like literally you get what happens. And we like how real it is because not only is that easier to film because it's real.
Yeah, we have enough interesting stuff happen on our own anyway. But we'll see. Now the one thing I did consider is not making a TV show out of what we do, but I've been asked to maybe be like a guest host on other shows or things like that.
Yeah, that's
so
different.
We may try and do that. Right now, the only thing we do is we put ads on our show. That's the only thing that we do to basically help pay the bills and put some money back in the bank towards that. So when those commercials play, as annoying as they are, that's the only thing that we do to try and raise capital to do the projects that we do and the extra things that we have going on.
And we get to know little by little more about you guys as well. So we've ended up opening up this gigantic YouTube family, which we absolutely love. So I think we're really fortunate to be on this platform and getting the opportunity to do that because you guys are wonderful.
Yeah, it's really nice to get to know everybody. Norman, if you're watching from Alaska, Norman is the one who has the comics on hold. Norman's like my comic book and he likes everything kind of paper. He works on a ferry in Alaska. But I guess they're shut down right now because there's not as many, not as much tourism and stuff up there. But I chatted with him for probably normally I don't have time to talk, but I had a quiet spot in the store and I was chatting with him and I'm like, I probably talked him to the point where he's like, I gotta go. He's like, my phone's about to die. I'm like, I guess I just really enjoy talking with him. He's a viewer like you. And so we chatted a little bit about stuff and we're having fun. I was telling him the story. He told me he had a 72 Monte Carlo and I told him the story. I've shared this story before of the 72 Monte Carlo. Do you guys remember that story or do I need to share it again?
I don't even know what it is.
The 72 Monte Carlo story. Do you guys remember this story? Say yes or no. If you want me to tell it again, I'll tell it again. Anyway, so I shared that with him and he kind of got a chuckle out of it. No. Matthew Fox, Alex never calls me. We chatted once, Matthew. I imagine you're busy just making jewelry and being awesome and spiking that hair up as high as you can. Bob sent $5 towards a Canon.
Are they saying no, they don't remember it, or no, they don't want to hear about it?
I will tell you the story of the 72 Monte Carlo.
Oh, thank you very much, Bob.
Okay, I want to set the scene here. This is about 12 years ago or more. Melissa and I had a toy store at West Edmonton Mall called Axel Toys. We sold a lot of die cast and trains and stuff. Get it? Axel, Alex. That's the idea. On my way into work from my house, every morning I would pass this little old lady in a 72 Monte Carlo. It was an ugly color. It was like an olive metallic green with an olive green interior. It was not a color that wears well when it starts to get rusty, and it had a lot of rust on the sides around the wheel arches and stuff. But every day I wouldn't see the lady drive by. I'd see what I presumed was a little old lady because I'd seen an old lady hat drive by because she was like 3 feet tall. And I don't know how she saw over the steering wheel. I think that she was so short she like looked through the steering wheel on the bottom, like she couldn't even see like up over top, so she probably looked through the bottom of the steering wheel. Anyway, I was like, man, that old lady's driving a 72 Monte Carlo. That's cool. And so I'd see her in winter and I'd see her in summer. And then every day I saw it. And then one day I didn't see it anymore. And I thought, well, that's weird. I wonder where that car went. And so I'm at our little diecast store and at West Edmonton Mall. And this little 3 foot tall old lady comes in. And I'm like, well, that's a short lady. And she comes in and she says, do you have a die-cast car, or do you have a model car? She didn't know it was die-cast. She said model car. She said, do you have a model car of a 1972 Monte Carlo? And I knew at that moment that I did have that die-cast car in stock, but also that she was the mystery woman because I'd only ever seen her hat before. And I said, yes, I do. And I showed her the model that I did. It was an American Muscle one and stuff. And at that time it was like $54. And she was like, $54? In my day, we could afford an entire store full of penny candy. Anyway. I don't know if she bought it or not, but I said, are you the lady who has a green 72 Monte Carlo? And she's like, well, yes, but I had to stop driving. And I'm like, oh, that's too bad. I guess she couldn't drive anymore. So she said, if you want to, I should do her. She said, if you want to come look at the car, she gave me the address. She said, here's my address. I don't have a phone. And so I had to throw, actually, when I went there, she told me she says, I'm the second window up from the door, and I had to throw pebbles. I had to throw rocks at her window to let her know, like it was the Middle Ages and it was a castle. And I'm like, dear Gwyneth, are you at home to come outside and joust with us? I don't know. I don't think that's what you do. You're like, would you like to listen to some rock music? And literally, it's just like the rocks hitting her window. So anyway, I throw the rocks up and she slides the little, it was one of those aluminum windows, and she slides it. And she said, who is it? Like, she didn't know who I was. And I was like, it's me, the guy at the car. She said, I'll be right down. And she slams it, and a big puff of dust flies out of the window because she probably hadn't opened the window in like 20 years. So she comes downstairs, and she teeters over to the car. And she says, it's been a really good car. She said to me two things. Two things that stuck in my mind. One was, I've never washed it. And she bought it brand new. I've never washed it. I believe it. I never washed it. You could see through the body of the car. And the second thing was, in a very stern, steely-eyed stare, she said, you can't get into the trunk. I don't have the key. I'm like,
oh, I knew that's where this story was going.
See, now you remember. So I said, oh, okay. I'm like, have you tried popping it open? You tried taking the, she's like, you can't get into the trunk. She didn't say it creepy but it was a little bit creepy. So anyway, I give her some money for the car. It wasn't much money. She was going to donate it, I think, or she had a car crusher coming that was going to give her $50, and I think I gave her 200 or something like that. And I drove it home. And surprisingly, the car drove excellent. Like, as much as the body was in bad shape on the car, it was quiet. The interior was perfect. And the car drove like brand new. I'm like, well, that's a shame this car is so rusty, because it actually drives really nice. So I brought it home, and what's the first thing I wanted to do? I had to see what was in that trunk.
But she also said something about her husband, right?
Oh, she said, my husband and I bought the car brand new, but he's no longer with me, and he hasn't been for 30 years. Bum, bum, bum. Sorry. Anyway, so my mind is already kind of racing a little bit. I decide that I'm just gonna, pop open the trunk. And the way to do that on an old car, like a 72 Monte Carlo or most cars, is you take the back of the back seat out, you pop the back seat out, and it has these little kind of holes that are cut through the steel. And you can see into the back, and then if you can reach the latch or undo the latch, the trunk will open up. So that's what I did. I take this back seat out, and I found probably 25 cents in 1970s nickels and whatever. And I get the trunk open up. And I take my arm out, because I had to reach into the hole through the back. And when I pulled my arm back through after unlatching the trunk, I was covered in dust. And I'm like, well, that thing hasn't been open in a while. So I go around to the other side, and I open the trunk. And what could only be in a Quentin Tarantino movie, the trunk opens up. There's probably a half-inch of dust over everything. And what do I see in this half-inch of dust? There is a half-empty bottle of vodka. There's a tarp, a shovel, and an axe. And I'm thinking, oh, this looks like it hasn't been opened in, 30 years. When did her husband go missing? Oh, 30 years ago. Ooh. So anyway, I'm thinking, well, at this point, I don't know what's going on. So I was like, well, I'm just going to lay that trunk lid back down there. And a part of me thought, I should probably never open that ever again.
I think we reported it just in case, right?
I did phone into the police, and he was like, I don't know, that's 30 years ago. And the cop didn't.
Because we didn't want to, just in case it was something, because,
Yeah, I'm like, I bought this car from this lady.
You don't want to be the person that messes with an investigation.
Yeah, so. You realize how lackadaisical the police can be sometimes. Anyway, not that, dear little old lady, I know you're probably no longer with us, and I don't mean to speak ill. It was a creepy situation.
I think she'd think it was funny anyways.
Maybe, or she'd be like, I told you not to open the trunk. Boom, boom, boom. So I put the car up online, and I'm like, 72 Monte Carlo parts car. A guy wanted it because apparently the dashboard in a Monte Carlo is the same as a Chevelle SS. So he wanted the dashboard out of it because it was mint. That's all he wanted. And when the guy came, I'm like, what's the dog? The dog is
Chewy,
digging fiercely at something. Do you want to go see what he's digging at?
He's poking his little head over the
Our
top.
dog is burrowing himself inside of our couch right now. Melissa's going to go deal with that right now. All I see is a dog head looking like he's in trouble. And Melissa's taking care of it. So when I showed the car to the guy, I left all the stuff in the trunk. I'm like, just so you know, there's a bunch of weird stuff in the trunk. I'm like, there's a shovel and tequila. He's like, vodka, sweet, I'll take it. It was like a bonus for him for buying the car. I think he drank the vodka. Ugh. Anyway, super gross. I say that, but I've found old bottles of alcohol in the house that were sealed, mind you, and tried them. This guy drank a half-empty bottle of vodka that was, ugh. Truth be told, it was probably her winter kit. Like, if you ever get stuck, you're going to need a shovel to, I don't know, dig yourself out of the snow. And if you get stuck and you're going to be cold, you'll probably wrap yourself up with that tarp and blanket and drink the vodka. And I don't know. But the guy was super happy about having a half-empty bottle of vodka in the trunk. I should say it was a half-full bottle of vodka to him. So off he went. He got in the car and he drove it away, happy as a clam. And I never saw that car again until the next week when it followed me home by itself and tried to run me down like Christine. No, only part of that happened. The whole story leading up to the car possessing itself happened. Anyway, so I don't know whatever happened with that. That was almost as bad. When I was in junior high school, I phoned about a guy. A guy had a car listed in the paper. That's when cars were listed in the paper. And it was it was like a Hillman or something like that. And it said it was a convertible. And I phoned him and I was trying to assess out the condition of the car. And I said, this is me. I'm like 13 or 14 or something. I'm like, phone me about your Hillman convertible. And I was like, are the floors okay? And he's like, well, the floors ain't that good in it. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He said, well, I was cutting the roof off with the chainsaw and my feet went through the floor. And I was like, so was it not always a convertible? He's like, well, it is now. He said, but I don't know, you're going to have to figure something out for the roof because the rain's been getting in there and kind of wrecking everything. And so apparently this guy took a car, tried taking the roof off with a chainsaw, fell through the floorboard and decided to list it in the newspaper as a convertible. That's why you ask questions and don't buy sight unseen. Mind you, I bought a Woody wagon that caught itself on fire on the first day I tried to drive it. But I think that's resolved. Anyway.
Well,
the things that people do. Oh, the things that people do. Yeah. We are we're still car heavy right now.
Somebody wanted to know, do you think you've ever been in a building that was haunted? Barn, garage, house, shed. Here's the thing though. Everybody thinks that things are haunted because when you film and you open anything up and they see the dust come out, they're like, oh, that place was full of orbs. But it's dust. We saw this.
I even say in a video, I'm like, wow, look at all the dust. And then I have like 1,000 people go, look at all the orbs. I'm like, yeah, orbs of dust.
It's dust. It's the way it reflects when you're...
I have no opinion one way or the other.
But you never got the heebie-jeebies in a place?
Oh, sure. I've gotten the creeps many times, probably because some animal was lurking, staring at me, ready to pounce.
Maybe.
Like when I went in that barn with Josh and the pigeon was staring at me, and then we found out that its eggs were in there and it was all protective. And I'm like, why isn't that pigeon flying out of this barn? Oh, its little babies were in there. And then some guy wrote me and he said, I need you to go back in that barn and get, like, there was pigeon-covered stuff.
Potter's house.
What about the Potter's house?
That was haunted. Remember Patrick?
Oh, yeah, the Potter's house. Watch the episode with Patrick the Ghost and you'll understand that I have, in fact, been inside of a haunted house.
Ooh, that was good. I can't remember who said that. Wait, Jeannie. Potter's house was haunted. We saw a ghost.
Yeah, we did. No, I never saw it. I only saw it after the fact on camera. Live on tape. And people are like, that ghost looked a lot like Patrick with a sheet on his head. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe there's a ghost that looks like Patrick. I don't know. We joke. We have fun on this channel, right? Yeah. Let's see. Woody Wagon. I'm going to try answering some questions now in the last little bit of the live feed. We're going to go to exactly an hour, which gives us a little over 10 minutes left of chat time here. Okay. So first question up is Woody Wagon, and then storage auction part. We got to answer that one because it was so can you keep track of that one? If it's a super chat, I have to answer. Woody Wagon is in the shop getting some work done to it. I'm getting the major work done. We're replacing the broken glass. We're getting the carburetor tuned up so it doesn't light itself on fire. And I am getting the frame. It has a Camaro front clip on it, and apparently they didn't weld it up to snuff, so we're getting it all brought up to speed. After that, I'll have to reassess where it's at and see how much I can do myself and how much needs to be done at the shop. But that's where that's at right now. Storage Auction Pirate says, love the stories. Have enjoyed the channel ever since you released the amazing warehouse toy score. Oh, yeah. Well, that stuff, made its way through and helped a lot of people. So I'm glad it's all basically done now and dealt with. So thank you for watching the channel. Let's see. I'll try and answer a few more questions here. So if you have one that you want to ask, you can ask a question. This will be Q&A time.
Ooh, Patrick was
Did I
so
get the
scared.
Ooga horn installed? Not yet.
Not yet. What? You're getting into a Ooga horn?
Yeah, it's in our garage.
What?
Our garage
Oh,
is.
you guys, you need to keep me up to speed on what Alexander's doing in
I
the
have
house.
I have 3 klaxon horn. I know it's called a klaxon horn. Somebody said it's a klaxon horn. I know it's called KLAXON. That's what they put on Model Ts and stuff. It's colloquially known as an Ooga horn because that's the sound it makes. Elizabeth says, just because we love you guys. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth.
If anyone could make a car look beautiful with $100 of spray paint, you can. I love watching that. Was it $100 worth of spray paint?
Yeah. Well, it was $100 with the paint and materials.
Somebody said you really went green with that. That was my first initial reaction too. I thought, oh.
It was green before, and frankly, I like that color.
Well,
green.
it's fine. It's nice.
Let's see. The A-Team Racing set is going through the auction. The Campbell Soup doll is also going through the auction. Let's see. How are our mothers doing? Our moms are doing okay.
Yep. I'm going to try to go see my mom on Sunday.
Yeah, our moms are doing good. We're gonna try and visit. I try and see my mom as often as I can. How is the book doing? If you guys didn't know, we wrote a book called The Potter's House, and it is basically a coffee table book
Oh,
full of
Patrick's on
pictures.
here.
Oh, hey, Patrick. It's a coffee table book that has a lot of pictures of the house in its finished form, and pictures of the pottery and some of the collectibles that I found in it, and some of Mary's poetry. That is on Amazon, and yeah, sales have been okay. So if you haven't picked one up yet, there's a Christmas idea for you. Go ahead. Why not?
Sorry, I did see it before and then I forgot to ask him. Who came up with the name Curiosity Inc.?
I think we both were chatting about it.
But you came up with it ultimately. Like in the end, there were a few names, and I think you were more responsible for the name, and then I agreed with you.
You know, originally I wanted to call the store the Curious Cat, or you know, something to do, and I had like this shadowy outline of a cat, and I thought it'd be kind of cool because cat being like, you
Curiosity killed the cat.
Well, not Curiosity killed.
But
no.
that's why we didn't use it.
Well, that's not why it was taken, but also. I because cat in like Beatnik would be like, man, that guy's a cool cat. So Curiosity,
I completely thought we didn't use it because of the
No, somebody else had it. So we chose Curiosity Incorporated because it reminded me of Scooby-Doo a little bit. Yeah, like Mystery Inc. We were Curiosity Inc. And I just thought it sounded fun. Casey Harms says, sent us $6.99 Canadian, thank you. Maybe one day you'll make your way to a meet and greet in Grand Prairie. Yeah, you know, Casey, we were in Grand Prairie not that long ago. We were there for a wedding.
Last year, almost exactly.
Yeah, it was about a year ago.
Yeah.
When everything was normal. We could have done a meetup. We didn't think about it. We didn't have time because we were there for a wedding specifically. We were helping to set up the hall to get. I cooked. I was the not the chef, but it was a barbecue at the wedding, and I was the guy who was doing all the barbecuing. And everybody who was part of the family that didn't know me thought I was like some hired help, and they're like, so do you work here at the hall, or are you just? And this one guy thought I worked there, and he asked me like, I'm like, no, I'm related to the groom, and he's like, oh, okay. And then he comes back 5 minutes later. He's like, I'll grab that hot dog. He's like, so do you work here? And I'm like, no, I'm related to the groom. I'm just helping. He asked me, I kid you not, 4 times if I worked there or not. Maybe he was really hangry. Maybe I should have given him more food, and he would have been happier.
That wasn't the only weird thing that person did. So.
No, that was an interesting.
Well, yeah.
Can I give the Coles Notes overview?
I don't think so, because what if somebody gets offended?
Okay.
Their family.
I would say that I've never been to a wedding before where the pastor or minister spends 30 minutes complaining about the troubles of infidelity in marriages. And warning and cautioning. I'm like, well, that's kind of a dark way to kick off a ceremony. And you can see the bride and groom were like,
it was kind of uncomfortable, and then everybody else was kind of looking at each other too, like, what is this?
And another thing, if you should ever cheat on each other, and I'm like, oh man, this is dark. Yeah. Maybe I should have given him more food. He was just having an off day, maybe.
Yeah.
Seemed like a nice guy. Other than that, if you're watching.
You know. It's not like we're saying anything that's new.
Or not true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, I don't know. Who knows? No, he was a marriage counselor. That's why he said that stuff. It's not that anybody in that family cheated on or he got cheated on. He also did marriage counseling.
But
and so,
no, he's saying maybe he got cheated on, like the...
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
It's because he was a marriage counselor as well.
So he said he's not himself without a Snickers. You ever seen that? It's like an angry Danny DeVito, and then they give him the Snickers, and it's like
or
some
Betty
cool
White.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to answer some questions. The old cookbook sold a long time ago, I think, right?
Yeah, back when
Yeah.
there were so many people asked for it.
Yeah, there was a lot of people asking about that. How is your sister and niece doing? Heather's doing well. Unfortunately, her family has decided, her mom and her other daughter and stuff have decided they didn't really want to have her or me or any of this in their lives, and so it's back to non-speaking terms over there. I can't express how disappointed I am that that's the approach they've decided to take. I can't say that I even respect the approach after, if you're not willing to put your feelings aside and try and bring your family together, especially when you're going through hard times like a pandemic and the world's gone crazy, all we have is our family.
Yeah.
So we still have Heather in our lives, of course, and Dorian and Alyssa and Peter, and we love them all very much and very
Well,
dearly.
they're insane because they're missing out. So
Yeah,
lucky for
they are
us.
missing out. We get extra time with them.
Yeah.
I wish my mom has like full on adopted Heather, like not like legally, but she's like, that's my daughter now, and Alyssa is her granddaughter, and she hugs them. Like my mom is a rocker. When she hugs one of the grandkids, she grabs them and she goes, "Oh," and she rocks back and forth. Grandma loves you so much, and she did that too. I think Alyssa and Peter, and they just let it happen. That's what you do with my mom. You just let it happen. You just let my mom hug you until my mom's done hugging you, and then release it, and then just like, okay, mom's done now. I love you too, mom.
But I know a lot of people are concerned about Alyssa not putting out videos, but she has a new job that she is insanely busy. So she's trying to find the time to be able to find something to vlog about and to edit and to video, period. But she is wanting to do a video soon. She's just trying to find the time just to get back into it. She's just so incredibly busy with the new job.
Yes, but what's really disappointing is that I was supposed to have gone down to Colorado. If you guys recall, some of you might recall this.
In March, I think, right?
March, the first week of March, I was scheduled to go to Colorado Springs and do a meetup and meet a whole bunch of people there. We had the place booked. My flight was booked. And it was basically at the cusp of them shutting down the border, not shutting down the borders.
Shutting everything down here.
They were saying, if you're Canadian, come home. That was like right around that time. They were saying things are starting to kind of get bad. And so I said, guys, I don't think it's best that I come down and do that. So I canceled the flight, and that's been, since March. And I haven't seen Heather since Christmas time, and I miss them dearly. I was supposed to go down there and meet Heather and Alyssa and Peter and see them, and then Heather was supposed to come here in summertime. But our border is still closed right now. Yeah. If you are trying to cross at the land crossing, I think you can fly up.
You can fly to the States, but you have to quarantine for 14 days there, and then when we get back, we have to quarantine in our house here for 14 days. So you have to take a month off of work.
Yeah.
So, and that's in a house. You don't get to quarantine and go and sightsee and visit people. You're 14 days in lockdown,
and we can't afford to be gone for that long. And Heather, I love you. And I do love my new sister. I can say that proudly.
She's not your new sister. She's always been your sister.
She's always been my sister, my newly discovered sister. But I don't want to sit in your living room for 14 days. And trust me, you don't want me to sit in your living room for 14 days. If you know me at all, which she does now, I have to be doing something at all times. Yeah. I always have to be like,
go crazy.
I will watch TV if I have a project to work on, if I'm cleaning, polishing, sorting, working.
It's true. He's answering your guys' emails if we're watching a movie. Like, he cannot stop. Like, seriously.
I like to keep busy. I like to know that I'm being productive. And so I would go absolutely out of my mind crazy if I was stuck indoors. When we had that, I was indoors for a month here at our own house. I started renovating random like toys that I had lying around in my car. You guys remember that? I had like a motorcycle, and I think I did a James Bond car. These are like things that I've had sitting around in drawers that I was meaning to do for a while. I almost got the whole Rolls Royce put together in that time. I did a lot of stuff. Oh no, that was when I think maybe it was the Alfa Romeo. I can't remember. Anyway, I kept myself busy. I always like to make my.
It was nice though, because it wasn't nice that you were stuck at home.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice that we got to spend a lot of time together,
yeah.
Like actual time. It was kind of nice without both of us being so busy.
I don't know if I have ADHD. Melissa thinks I probably do.
I'm not allowed to code him, but.
No, because I can keep my thoughts linear.
No.
Yes.
It's not that. It's not that.
I know that right now we're doing Q&A.
There's some.
Not pick on Alex.
Yeah, that's true. If I had to go through the checklist, there's a couple things that I know what I check off on. So.
Yeah.
We all have something, you guys. It's no magic. It's not like one or two people. We all have.
Oh, Patrick's signing off. Patrick, we miss you, by the way. Patrick, there are so many times before you log off, Patrick, and I hope you're still here before you log out. I have to say, Patrick lives in Ontario now, and I haven't seen Patrick in over a year probably. Patrick, I really miss you coming on the adventures with me and having a friend to come and go do stuff like that with me. I miss your friendship. I miss you being my brother-in-law out here. So hopefully we'll get a chance to visit with you again soon. But there's definitely a hole in my life by having you gone out in Ontario. So I hope you're enjoying it. At least you got a good job and you got the kids out there and stuff. But we certainly miss you.
Yes, we do a lot.
Yeah, I think back on those times when we went through, the abandoned general store and we pulled the shelves and you fell through the floor and I'd laugh. Ha ha! Remember when he fell through a floor? Anyway, those were adventures, and I liked having you on those adventures.
You
So
said I miss you all too.
yeah, you try and have a good night, Patrick. You keep singing and keep being awesome, and don't forget to call us again soon. Miss you, Pat. Let's see. So we'll answer a couple more questions and we'll call it a day.
The single best thing that you've ever found picking?
There is no single best thing I've ever found picking. I mean, I found, historic artifacts, and I'm always surprised by what I find in people's houses. My theory is that every single house has one really cool thing in it. I have the gold coin, by the way. I have it upstairs in my room. I should get Zach to come back and metal detect the yard because we found some more coins and stuff in the yard too. We dug back the layer of dirt in the yard back another half foot, so I should get Zach. Zach, if you're watching this, you should come back. I'm trying to encourage Zach to actually do his own channel too.
Oh yeah, he should for sure. That would be interesting.
Well, no, he started his channel. He put up one video, but I'm like, Zach, you got to do your videos. He's a guy who's out there basically digging in the dirt every single day. And I'm like, you just got to film that stuff. You're always doing cool stuff. People would watch that. People watch mud larking and digging. And that's a guy who's not afraid to get dirty. He comes and he's dressed nicely. And after 10 minutes, he just jumps right in the mud. I guess maybe in my older age, I'm like, I really don't appreciate walking around for the rest of my day with muddy boots or shoes and my socks all dirty and pants dirty. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Whatever you're going to find is probably not worth it to me to get myself all dirty. I'm like, but I did jump in the dirt to find that coin though. At any rate, I can't tell you what the most valuable or interesting thing that I found in the house is. For me, it's just the adventure itself that's fun. If you wonder why I have old cars come and go, it's not necessarily because I'm trying to make profit off of the vehicles. Sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. When the Buick sold, I actually lost money on that. These vehicles to me are kind of like a big model kit. I love old cars. I like experiencing them. I like the aesthetics of them. I like tinkering on things, and then once I have it to a spot where I'm satisfied or where it's time to move on to something else or I need money, off it goes. So I look at the cars like they're kind of like a big plastic model kit. They're fun, they do their thing, and then they take up a lot of space and money, so I can't generally afford to hang on to a whole lot of them at the same time, but it is fun for me. So we'll do, I think, 2 more questions here. We'll see what comes up.
Okay, it says, did you get the harp watch evaluated by a jeweler?
No, I have not yet.
And there was another one. I don't know what that is. Wondering if you still have the
Milanese hymn. Yes, I do actually. The 1712 Milanese hymn book is available for sale, and if you're interested, you can message me. I was debating putting that through auction, but I don't know how that would do at an auction sale because it's hard to tell the scale of it. It's absolutely massive. It's almost 2 feet tall and a foot or so wide when it's closed, so it's amazing. The Blue Globe did sell. FYI, I purchased the door for me on August 8th. I sent you a mail. Okay, I'm not sure what that one was. We'll have to check the mail.
I purchased the door for me on August 8th.
Do you still have the Charvel guitar case? Nope, sold that. Let's see. Any 47 BC plates? No 1947 BC plates. What's the difference between bacon and Canadian bacon? Canadian bacon is basically ham, and it's round, and it's flat.
And we don't really eat it.
No.
I mean, in my life, the only time I ever have Canadian bacon is on, I mean, not anymore at all, because I don't eat pork, but... on what is the egg thing?
Canadian bacon is essentially...
Eggs Benedict.
Oh, Eggs Benedict. Canadian bacon is used on Eggs Benedict and on Hawaiian pizza.
It's just... Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
No,
yeah.
It's called ham and pineapple for a reason, because it's ham.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Anyway. It's just round. Yeah.
It's just a round piece of ham. I'm sure it comes from something else, but I mean, it comes from pork.
Somebody said, do you have either of those groovy ashtrays? I'm guessing the Greyhound ashtray and the cigar ashtray, the Rollador. The Rollador is gone. And let's see. Okay. So last couple things here. Okay. I'm just reading some of the comments as we go here. Everybody's stuck on bacon now. You bring up bacon in a conversation, people get lost.
Do you ever come across old pagoda?
I don't know.
Something I'm gonna have to
Or
Google.
Peugeot, it almost looks like. Let's see. So anyway, it's very, very busy. Yes, the Buick is gone. Yeah, the Buick is gone. It's found a new owner, which is
They
fine.
call it Canadian bacon and pineapple.
Yeah, Curiosity Inc. t-shirts are available on Teespring, which is, there's a link on our YouTube channel to our product page on Teespring, but if you go to teespring.com, Teespring.com, look up Curiosity Inc., you will see where we have some merch, some branded merchandise, including coffee cups and things with our store name on it, and t-shirts and sweaters and so forth. And what else? Yeah, if you're in the Edmonton area, stop by the store. For those of you that do, we're always happy to see you guys pop through the store. So our kids are getting anxious. Steven is pointing out things.
I'm getting a drink.
He's getting a drink, but he's pointing at us. If you have not checked out, yes, Carol says, did you make a video painting the Rover green? Yes, I did. I think I posted it this morning even.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't see that one.
Yep, so go back on YouTube and you'll see it's called $100 Paint Job. Is it possible? And I'd probably say it's possible, but maybe it's something you could do, but maybe you shouldn't do. I did it anyway. Doesn't matter to me. I like it, and that's all that matters.
What were you gonna say about Stephen Draws?
Check out Steven's channel, Steven Draws. Our son, Steven, also has a YouTube channel, for those of you. And Melissa, if you want to see what's happening on kind of in our family life or what's going on with Melissa, Melissa Archbold is her vlog.
I put hearts up, but I just did a dog's birthday.
Yeah, she just did Chewy's birthday party as a video. So she does more of like the family sort of vlogs and things like that.
What's happening in our actual life.
Yeah, and I do the exploration and what's happening more in the business.
Mine right now for like in our lives is literally the kids doing online school, Alexander going to work, and me nonstop cleaning in my class.
And Steven does art.
Yeah, Steven's the only one that
He's got talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Steven has talent.
I'm so humble about it.
Yes, he is humble about it. But he's actually looking at pursuing. I was trying to convince Steven, he loves designing buildings and things as well. And I thought, well, maybe he should get into architecture or something like that. But whatever it is, I'm sure he'll be very good at it. Very proud of him and the other kids as well. They're all very talented in their own little ways, and we're very proud of them. But have a wonderful night, guys. We're going to log off now. We're a little bit past our time there. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening. If you have any questions about products in the store, you can call the store. Sean is working the next couple days. I'll be back in the shop Wednesday after the weekend. I'm off exploring and shooting videos for the next few days, so it's going to be a very busy weekend for me, and hopefully going to visit your mom at the farm.
Yep, I haven't told her yet.
Yeah, well, maybe she's watching. Hey, Marlene, we're going to come visit. Anyway, guys, have a wonderful night. We'll see you all soon, and bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.